Happy Memorial Day. This is Diane. If you live in the U.S., it's Memorial Day for us, honoring our veterans. And it turns out that a holiday is a good business day for a flea market. I went to the one that's open on Mondays, the open air one, and I wasn't even sure if they'd be open because it was a holiday. But when I got there at 9:15 this morning, I could not believe I could hardly find a place to park. So there were a lot more vendors there and a lot more customers. So what I thought would be a quick trip was an hour, but that was okay. I had fun. So I just want to show you what I picked up. I got this vintage tablecloth, and it just has several different floral designs on it, so they can be cut up into squares. So I'll do that and put some of these in my Etsy shop, some of the squares. And this beautiful apron. Isn't that just lovely? It looks like cross stitch on the pockets. I just love that. And the colors are so cool. I don't know what era this is. And it looks like it was homemade. So that's cute. I'll do the other fabrics too. I got this vintage set. It's 2 pillowcases and 2 sheets with this design. It looks, I don't know, looks like 70s maybe 80s. I think it was 2 sheets. Yeah, 2 sheets and 2 pillowcases. And then these definitely look vintage. I got 2 pillowcases of this. Isn't that pretty? These will definitely be getting washed today. Cleaned up. So there's 2 of those. And 2 of these. These are very soft. Look at that pretty lace. Just a very lovely, soft fabric. So I'll be putting together vintage fabric bundles. I have some other things that I've been wanting to cut up and put in, so I can add those to it. And a embroidered pillowcase too. And they were all from one guy, and he gave them to me really cheap. He's an older man, pretty old. His hands are shaky. But he just keeps his stuff in boxes on the ground, cardboard boxes. So you have to bend over and really paw through the boxes, and he doesn't ask for much money for them. So I handed him the first stack of things, most of those things, and I said, how much for all this? He said, is 5 good? I said, sure. And then I found the apron and something else, and I gave him a couple bucks for those 2 things. So that was good. If you look at vintage sheets and pillowcases on eBay, you pay that much for just one. So then some of the paper things I got this needle book, Compliments of Your Esso Dealer, and Happy Home Needle Book. And there were 2 of these. They came from a bank. She had a whole bunch of these with rain bonnets folded up inside. I wanted some of them just for nostalgia's sake, but there should be another one of these. So anyway, I got 2 of these, and she gave me all 4 items for $1. These were a little pricier. This man wanted $1 per postcard, which really adds up. But these were so pretty. He had a box full of postcards, and I had 10 of them, and I asked if he would give me a deal, and he said $8 for 10. So just because these are so pretty, I went with it. And there is writing on them. This is 1909. These are the postcards. They're a little harder to find. They're just beautiful. And these were in a postcard book. And a lot of the postcards were missing from the book. And when I saw the type of postcards they were, I asked him how much for the book. And he said, oh, I don't know, I'm just asking $1 a card. So he let me just take out the cards I wanted. This one opens up. 1913. This one's beautiful. 1908. And I love these. These are going to be cute in Halloween journals. Maybe I'll put a few of these in my shop too. Because I don't know if I'll need this many, but they're scarecrows and Frankensteins. I just thought they were cute. And then this is really fun. A souvenir of your visit to Hershey. And it's got recipes in it. Hershey has special meaning to me. My husband went to the Milton Hershey School for Boys, as it was known back then, after his mother died. It was a home for orphan boys. And he said that it saved his life. He was hanging out with a rough group of kids that, while he was in Hershey, ended up, this gang ended up killing somebody. And he might have been involved with that gang, maybe not actually with the violence, but with that gang he would have been in trouble. And he just didn't have a great home life. So his stepmother sent him and his older brothers to school away from home. And he and one brother went to the Milton Hershey School. This is a wonderful little book. I don't know, I might have to keep these just because of what Hershey means to me, because I like chocolate too. But, and these look like some of the same things. Anyway, he said Milton Hershey, the school, saved his life. It taught him a lot of things about life and finances, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful school, and it's all paid for by the Milton Hershey Corporation. It's a very wealthy corporation, and this big school is paid for by the corporation, and now it's for boys and girls, and it's for troubled kids, not just for orphans. But anyway, this, and we went to Hershey on our honeymoon. We spent some time in Hershey, so it's a very special place. So then I got the Presto recipe book. I just thought this cover and this cover would be really great on the front of a cookbook journal. And the pages are kind of cool too. Marble molasses cake, that doesn't sound good. It says for little girls and their mothers. 1937. Recipes for good eating. Isn't that sweet? Look at the gingham aprons. 1945. Yeah. And then from the same vendor, I got this Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus 100th Anniversary Souvenir Program and Magazine, 1970. It's got some really awesome pictures in it. So if I do another circus journal or 2 or 3, I can use this. The circus journals that I made sold very quickly, so chances are If I have time, I'll make another one. Look at this page, crowd pleasers. Just a page full of candy. These are great pictures. And then in the back, symbols of the circus. They're the sparkling new symbols of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. This says Ring, this says Ling, this says Barnum, and this says Bailey. Coloring page. Then I got this, just a little Days to Remember book. It's got a little pocket, a place for addresses and to write birthdays and things like that on it, anniversaries. So I thought this would be fun. And I got some binders. This is What's Cookin' at Community, 1993. I like this picture, and it's vinyl, but I thought this would make a fun journal. It's one of the fundraiser cookbooks. It's got tabs. It was only a couple dollars. This one I got for $2 just because he hasn't marked for 2 or 4, but when I was looking through it and I wanted to see if the binding, the rings were good, but when I opened it, a section of the pages were out, and I was trying to put the thing back together, and he said, I can do that. And I said, well, how much do you want for it? And he said, well, since it's coming apart, $2. I'm like, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with it. Somebody just opened it and some of the pages came out. So the binder, the rings are great. And this is not a vintage book. It's the replica of the 1950 edition, which I think is gorgeous, of the Betty Crocker cookbook. But it's from 1990 something. It's a facsimile edition. Oh, it doesn't really matter, really, does it? I saw it in here once. Anyway, it's 1990 something. But I love the cover. And it does use the vintage images, so I think that's great. So everything is in really good shape because it's not that old. Of course, you know, it could be 20 years old. Probably is about 20 years old because here it is 2018 already. This needs to be cleaned up, but it's another binder. And this was $2. And it's one of the fundraiser books. The tabs are pretty. And I got this book that I thought I could use to make a Christmas version of a domestic arts journal. It's not very vintage, but it's a Christmas craft book from Better Homes and Gardens, 2007. And I got all of this from one vendor, more laces and trims. And I will come back and show you all of this stuff in the next video.